Today we are going to study what is economic development. If I ask you what is the difference between economic growth and economic development, can you differentiate between these two? Economic growth and economic development. Basically, economic growth means increase in real GDP or increase in the material welfare of the people. They are going to have more income. But what is meant by the economic development? That means improvement in their living standard. If they are becoming richer and richer, are they going to have better quality of life or not? How can we measure the quality of life? This is the main topic for the today. Okay? Development means the improvement in the quality of life of people living in a country over the period of time. Do you think if a person is earning too much of money, or a country is having most of the people who are earning too much in the form of high income, high real GDP per capita, but if they don't have education, if they don't have a decent living standard, like their average life expectancy is quite lower, they are caught up with diseases, okay, they are not having clean drinking water, their children are not going to the schools, they are not attending school in order to get education. So we see, although they are earning too much, their income level is high, but their quality of life is very poor. They don't have enough development. Clear? What are the reasons behind why a country is having more GDP per capita, but it is having lower literacy rate, average life expectancy is lower? There can be a reason that the economic growth, when it is taking place, a country is showing more economic growth due to improvement in technology. But the trickle down effects, what do we mean by trickle down effects? The benefits of economic growth, if they are not transferred to the lower masses of population, like concentration of wealth is having in the few hands, only a few number of people, they are getting the benefit of economic growth, but not all or majority of people, they are having lower level of income. And because of that low level of income, poverty is also increasing, even though a country is showing the economic growth. Clear? So economic growth does not mean that it is also having economic development with it, until unless the trickle down effects of economic growth, they are not enjoyed by mass population. If people are not sending their children to the schools, or they are not having improvement in their health conditions. So even though their incomes are having a few hands to earn, but the rest of the population is not going to be well off because of that economic growth. They are becoming further poor, or their literacy rate is not improving. Therefore, if I say economic development is total change in the lifestyle of people to improve their quality of life. Economic development is known as to improve the quality of life. To improve the quality of life of people. Quality of life of people living in a country. Living in a country in a given time period. In a given time period. Alright? So we see the quality of life. How can we measure it? One thing is that the material welfare. How is the material welfare measured? By the income per capita. Real GDP per capita, you can say, here we say real GNI per capita, gross national income. Divide the real GNI divided by the total population. That will give us the real GNI per capita or per capita income of the people. That will show us how much of money is earned by the people to buy the goods and services. That will show us the material welfare of the people in the form of goods and services. What is the spiritual welfare of people? That they have good citizenship. Okay, they should be having more education. That will show us the spiritual growth, that they are well behaved, they are more civilized. So, improvement in the civilization of a society, that will show us what? The spiritual upgrooming of the people in a country. So, it does not mean that we should only focus on the economic growth of the country. There is a vast area where a country can work in order to improve the quality of life or living standard of people over the period of time. This is called what? Economic development. This is a total change in the quality of life, like in the form of improved literacy rate, improved health conditions. Their average life should be higher and higher. And at the same time, there should be eradication of poverty. Okay, everyone should have access to clean drinking water, and children should be going to the school to get the basic level of education. Okay, mean years of schooling should also be improved, and the other things with that, they should also be improved. Then we say economic development is also taking place along with the economic growth. Now, how can we measure this economic development or quality of life? There were previously many of the indicators which were used to measure the quality of life of people. For example, during the 20th century, there was one indicator of economic development, that out of 100 people in a country, how many are able to afford a car facility? Clear? At that time, less number of people were maintaining a car for their family purposes or to commute from one city to another privately. So out of 100, how many were having the car facility at that time? So at that time, the world recognized that New Zealand was having the highest number of people in percentage, that out of 100, maybe 7 to 80% of people were owning their own special car or private car. And the rest of the countries, they were having a lower and lower living standard. Later on, a new indicator was introduced. What was that? A color television facility. Okay. At that time, television was not afforded by everyone, and that was having a less access. So when these material things, they had become saturated in the society, so there was no use of that indicator to measure the living standard of the country. Like nowadays, we are having more than one car facility in one family. Okay, so we cannot say these are the good indicators of measuring the living standard. Later on, there was again an indicator how many are owning their personal computer, private computer, personal computers, or cell phone facility. So when these material things, they become saturated, the world will shift to another indicator. Okay, so there are different categorizations of measuring the living standard. One is by the World Bank. What is that? This is real GDP per capita, real GNI per capita. Alright. Another, that is the composite indicator, that is called, this is the real GNI per capita by the World Bank ranking. This is the World Bank ranking. Another is the composite indicator, that is called Human Development Index. What it is? Human Development Index. That is HDI. You might have studied it your own level, HDI. And the third one, that is called MPI, Multi-Dimensional Poverty Index. What it is? Multi-Dimensional Poverty Index. Alright. So today we are going to study one of them, that is, there can be the other indicators like human happiness index, how much people are happy, even sometimes people are earning good income but they are not having happiness in their life. So we have to see how many people are happy with their life, if they are having more income or less income or middle income. There can be the different indicators. But right now in our syllabus we are going to study real GNI per capita. According to that, how World Bank has divided the countries, whether they are developed, lower income or high income countries, on the basis of real GNI per capita. Okay. So what is real GNI per capita? How can we calculate it? First of all, we measure GDP, then we add the net property income to that. It will become GNI in real terms. Real GNI per capita. How can we measure it? This is real GNI divided by the population size of the country. Population size of the country. This will give us the per capita income. Okay. According to World Bank, there can be different stages of economic development. One is called low income countries. Low income countries, if they have GDP per capita below $1,022, below $1,022, so it is categorized as low income country. But it is low income. Many of the countries in Africa, they are having real GNI per capita below $1,000, so they are considered to be lower income countries. Another group of countries will be middle income. What it is? Middle income countries. So middle income countries are those which are, again, these middle income countries, they are divided into further two categories. One is called lower middle income countries. Lower middle income countries. They will have a range of GDP per capita between $1,023 to $3,999. You can say below $4,000 if they are having GDP per capita, so they are lower middle income countries. Clear? So these are the approximate figures. You cannot say these are the 100% right one, but within this range we can say these are the middle income countries. Now another middle income country is that which is having upper income. What is the upper income middle country? Upper middle income countries, they will have GDP per capita between $4,000 and $12,225. So within this range, if a country is having income level, so that is called upper middle income country.
सर ये पर क्या है पर month?
per annum. Per annum. Annual income level. Okay. So now the third point is the upper middle income, high income countries. High income countries, they will have GDP per capita $12,226 plus, yani more than this. If a country is having per capita income, then definitely it is considered as high income country. Clear? So these are the different groups of countries according to their real GNI per capita. Now you can see the developed countries or high income countries, they are having GNI per capita more than 60,000 US dollars. For USA, for other countries, they are having 60,000 plus. G. So GNI per capita, they are having very high level. Okay. Another country in Gulf areas, that is Qatar. Okay, where the last football World Cup was taken place. Now they are having real GNI per capita $90,000. Very high level. Clear? So the upper European countries like Norway, like Switzerland, Luxembourg, they are having real GNI per capita more than US economy. Why? Why is the reason? Some countries, they are having a higher real GNI per capita than others. Can you tell me? The reason is this size. For example, China is the second largest economy of the world. Okay, maybe more than $16 trillion economy. Clear? So when we divide their real GNI by the size of population, as you see the denominator is increasing, the overall GNI per capita will decrease. Norway is a country where GNI is already very high, real GNI is high, but their population size is very less. So their real GNI per capita will increase. Same is the case with India. Indian economy is the fifth largest world economy right now. Okay, so when they are going to divide that real GNI by their population size, the most populated country of the world, their real GNI per capita can decrease. But in case of Pakistan, we are having very less. We are in the lower middle income country range. Nominal it is $1,200, but real terms we are having a little bit more. Clear? So we are in the very lower area. That's why our living standard, you can see in the high income cities of our country, they are having a little bit high level. But if we go into the interior sides of our country, then you can find more populations living in the rural areas and they are having less and less income level. So this is an average level. On average, we have this level of income. 1200, that is nominal. When we convert it into real, that will be a little bit high. Okay, now see, can we see this is a good indicator of measuring living standard?
Yes.
Does it tell us if a country is having more than 5,000 real GNI per capita, is it having full literacy of its population, that everyone is literate? Sri Lanka right now, you all be knowing Sri Lanka, they have announced their default situation throughout the world, but they have 100% literacy rate. Every person is educated, every person is literate. So this real GNI per capita does not tell us anything about the spiritual factors. This is my point. Does it tell us that the people living in this country are all educated, they are having more years of schooling, and mean years of schoolings are also very high. They don't have any poverty. This wealth may be concentrated into a few hands. Clear? It does not tell us anything that GNI per capita is really a good indicator of measuring the economic development or living standard of people. There is one country in Africa. I give you an example again. That name is Botswana. There was one data response question in our Cambridge A level. Botswana is having diamond mines within its geographical territory. But how much is their average life? 42 years and 43 years. They are having very, very less average life. It means although diamond mine is present, they don't have enough technology to extract that diamond. So one of the company, Dabsphere, they started extraction of diamond along with collaboration with their government. Botswana government, they made an agreement with that company, a private company, to extract diamond for themselves. Okay, so their labor is employed with that mine. But the thing is that along with such a huge earning, huge potential is there. But do they have a good lifestyle where they are having average life of 43 years? It means they have certain problems in their health sector. If they are able to improve their GNI per capita, right now that is a poor country, if over the period of time they are able to improve their real GNI per capita, but will they be able to improve their literacy rate and average life? This is the area of development. Okay, so for that reason, to show the composite living standard of the people along with this thing, because this is an indicator where population size is playing a vital role to determine its real GNI per capita. But it is not telling us anything about the literacy rate, it is not telling us about the average life expectancy of the country. It is not telling us anything about the poverty level. Okay? For that reason, we need this Human Development Index, which is a composite indicator. It includes real GNI per capita plus educational factor, the literacy rate, mean years of schooling and average years of schooling, and then we find what? Average life expectancy in a country. So by that we make a composite number. If that number is growing, then we see there is going to be improvement in living standard. And this multidimensional poverty index will tell us about the poverty level. I will do them in detail in tomorrow's lesson because they require further details. So right now I am giving you introduction that GNI per capita is not a good indicator of measuring the quality of life of people or their economic development because of this factor, population size and the distribution of income, you can say. And at the same time, it does not tell us anything about literacy rate and average life expectancy. So we will use these two in order to have the composite indicators to measure the living standard of the countries. So tomorrow I will be doing that, and then we will be proceeding further.